Theo of Golden. On a mild spring morning, when the light in Goldon, Georgia, slanted just right across the brick sidewalks, a silver-haired stranger stepped into town carrying little more than time and intention. His name was Theo. He moved slowly, not from frailty, but from attentiveness, as if the world were worth pausing for. His first stop was the Chalice, a coffee shop where conversations lingered longer than the steam above the mugs. Along its walls hung 92 pencil portraits, faces of the town rendered with uncanny tenderness. The artist, a reclusive young man named Asher Glissen, rarely spoke to customers. He preferred to let his drawings do the talking. Theo studied every portrait not as art exactly, but as testimony. Then, without spectacle, he purchased them all. The barista was stunned. The artist is confused. The town at first is suspicious. But Theo did not buy the portraits to own them. He bought them to return them, and so began what he called the bestowals. One by one, Theo tracked down the people in the drawings. A weary prosecutor who had forgotten why he once believed in justice, a lonely bookseller who lived among more pages than people, a homeless woman named Ellen whose eyes had learned to avoid mirrors. A young cellist was unsure whether her music mattered. Each received their portrait carefully wrapped, along with a handwritten letter, words chosen not to impress, but to see. Theo had a peculiar gift. He noticed what others missed. He named the courage that people had buried. He spoke aloud the dignity they had quietly surrendered. These meetings were never rushed, no mass event, no efficiency. Just 1 hour, face to face, story to story. Something began to happen in Goldon. Cynicism loosened its grip. People lingered, listened, forgave. The portraits, once decorations on cafe walls, became mirrors of worth hung in living rooms and bedrooms, daily reminders that someone had seen them fully and called them good. As Theo wove himself into the life of the town, whispers followed him. His accent, his knowledge of art, his generosity felt both deliberate and intensely practiced. Eventually, the truth surfaced. Theo was not merely Theo. He was Gamez Theophilus Zilavez, known to the world as Zila, a legendary Portuguese artist who had vanished decades earlier after the sudden, violent loss of his wife and daughter. Fame had not healed him, art had not saved him, grief had hollowed him out, and so he fled the world that applauded him, seeking a quiet place where creation could once again be an act of love rather than survival. Goldon was that place. But the most profound revelation came even later. Asher Glissen, the withdrawn artist who had drawn the portraits, was Theo's son, born of a brief relationship long ago, unknown to Theo until fate or grace hung their lives on the same walls. Theo's mission in Goldon had always been twofold: to restore a town and to stand quietly near the son he never knew how to claim. Then came the night that changed everything. A violent altercation erupted between two of Theo's friends. Without hesitation, he intervened, not with strength, but with presence. In the chaos, he fell from his balcony. The town gathered, stunned, as the man who had given so much slipped beyond reach. Theo's death broke Goldon open. Mourning filled the streets, but it was not empty sorrow. It was weighted with gratitude. His true identity became public. His life finally understood. He left his estate to Asher, along with the charges to continue the work, not as a monument, but as a practice. And so the bestowals did not end, they multiplied. A bench by the town fountain now bears his name. The great oak along the promenade, its knotted eye gazing skyward, stands as a silent witness to suffering and hope. The 92 portraits are spoken of like heirlooms. Stories are told. Kindness circulates. Goldon is no longer quite the same town. It is a place where people expect to be seen. Alan Levi's Theo of Golden is not a story about miracles, but about attention, not about saving the world, but about saving moments, one face, 1 hour, one quiet act at a time, written in the shadow of isolation and inspired by a simple question in a coffee shop. It reminds us that presence is still powerful, generosity is still revolutionary, and grace, when practiced, can outlive even the giver. Theo came to Goldon to give something away. In the end, he gave himself, and that was enough.